Hello. Do you want to play a game?
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. No! He wants us to cut through our feet.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Franchise. Franchise the damn thing. It's too damn good. Franchise, franchise, franchise.
Hello, my lore lovers. It's Lindsay, aka November Pixie. Thanks for checking out this video. Last year, October 31st, I did the Saw Victim of Franchise, where we looked at the entire Saw franchise. I recently just watched and reviewed Spiral, the Book of Saw, and I wanted to just kind of go over and tie it into not only the Jigsaw movie, but also the franchise in general. So this is the first ever Victim of Franchise reboot. So I've gone into the original Saw Victim of Franchise video. I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and this is that video. So I really hope that you enjoy it. Then that way you'll be completely caught up and we've gone over the entire franchise. It's the 2020 way, isn't it? Okay, so first I want to talk about each of the films individually. I actually loved the first one. Well, loved is probably too strong of an emotion. I saw this movie opening night. I gotta be honest, this one broke me of scary movies for a long time. I don't want to say like I don't like horror films and that I had a problem with blood and guts. I can't even say I have a problem with blood and guts because there wasn't any in this first film. And when it comes to horror, I've seen every Freddy, I've seen every Jason, Mike Myers, Rings and Grudges, Chainsaw Massacres, Amityville Horrors and zombies, like you name it. Saw was something completely different. I was never more freaked out. Genuinely scary to me. I think it was the minimalist nature. The movie itself was just so chilling and so disturbing. That's what really freaked me out about it. But as chilling and disturbing as it was, there was something elegant about it, about how simple it was, and the fact that this was James Wan, it was his directorial debut. Lee Winnell, it was his first script writing. This was really a passion project, different from the horror genre. It wasn't a slasher film, it was just something completely different. When scenes like this happened, just this sheer suspense of a stethoscope on a child's heart and listening to the heartbeat. It's like you can almost hear your own heartbeat in your ears. 90% of it is just psychological, especially when it comes to Dr. Gordon. He's been chained to this pipe for hours. He's been given this impossible task, not only cutting off his foot, you know, killing Adam, then being on the phone with his wife, hearing the hail of gunfire, and knowing that there's only one way out, drove him to this act of desperation of just needing to get out of the situation. And obviously the holy shit moment at the very end, what the fuck? And was this movie perfect? Of course not. It's a testament of what two people can achieve when they put their heart and soul and their minds together, and someone saying, okay, we'll do this, but you know, we're only going to give you very limited resources and you got to figure out a way to get it done. And they said, all right, if that's what we got to do, let's do this. So I got to give it to Wan and Winnell. I mean, you guys killed it. It definitely put me in a state of mind that I never want to go back to 2004 when I first saw this film.
Those who don't appreciate life.
All right. Saw 2. So it came out in 2005, but like I said, the first one messed me up on a level that I just couldn't even comprehend. So I really didn't see this one. I forget when I very first watched it. It was probably close to like 2008. So not only had I not seen Saw 2 when it came out in 2005, but there were at least 3 other films. And I don't really know what made me watch Saw 2, so I watched it. Now the opening scene, I was like, this was not what I was expecting from the first one, because the first one was so minimal. But then I watched the rest of it, and after the opening sequence and then watching the rest of it, I was like, I was kind of bored with it. You know, I remember thinking like, okay, this wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good either. So it wasn't really enough to get me invested at that point. So doing this little YouTube project, I actually had to watch it again. I honestly have to say, I know this is a little controversial, but I think Saw 2 was probably one of my favorites. Again, was it perfect? Why would you even assume that? Of course it's not perfect. However, once I rewatched it, they did a lot of things right in this movie. I thought Donnie Wahlberg did great. He was really a great character. You know, he's in this trying to figure it out, and he's trying to keep his cool the whole time, and just as it goes on and on and on, you just see his emotional state just start to fray. I loved it. I thought he did great. And Jigsaw as a character, this one was actually what made me realize he's a really interesting character. I am a big fan of the Thomas Harris series of Hannibal Lecter. This movie really made me realize that Jigsaw, or John Kramer, is very Hannibal Lecter-ish. Saw 2 really devoted a lot of its screen time into developing Jigsaw, and they really brought him to life in this one. So if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have seen John Kramer or Jigsaw as like a character or as a person. He just would have been the dead guy at the very end of Saw 1. And again, I really want to compare him to Hannibal Lecter, because there were so many times in this movie, especially when Donnie Wahlberg is like losing his shit, and Jigsaw doesn't even flinch. He's in complete control. And it reminds me of all of those great interactions with Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. You know, the cops are just really trying to like intimidate him, and Jigsaw is just like, you can't intimidate me, I'm in control here. I also really liked the father-son dynamic and how they put him in the house, and how they really developed that storyline, and how everyone in the house is connected. Now, one of the main reasons I like this one is because, other than the opening scene, the violence is actually kept in check. I mean, it's a little brutal to watch somebody burn to death, or watching a woman thrown into a needle pit. I still hate that scene. But after my rewatch, I thought the suspense was there. I thought the violence was kept in check. Concept, I thought it had a good story. I thought it had some of the better acting. Now, some of the people in the house, like Beverly Mitchell or even Shawnee Smith in the trap, I could take or leave, but I thought Wahlberg did a great job. I thought Tobin Bell did a great job. Now, this is where I was calling out to the Saw fans, because I've heard from a lot, they don't like Saw 2. I want to know, like, why some people don't like Saw 2. Let me know in the comment section. I was like, okay, so this really isn't the torture porn everyone was talking about. All right, like, I'm into number 2, not understanding like why the critics are calling it, you know, what it is. Saw 3, this is where the series lost its fucking mind. The torture porn, they earned it in this film. This film is nothing but gratuitous violence. Watch people get tortured. Like, that's what this one was. Saw 3 took everything that the first one did with like clever story writing, all the nuance, everything about that, and put it into a fucking wood chipper. Can I be more specific on the reasons why I think this one sucks? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Here are 4 reasons why I think Saw 3 sucks. The traps are needlessly cruel. Forget the fact that the 2 main targets are a doctor self-medicating because she's going through something in her life, and a son was killed by a drunk driver, and he's struggling to come to grips with that. These people are so not deserving to be in a saw trap, deserving of the mental anguish that they go through in this film. In the first one, subtle moral ambiguity of it. Oh, is Dr. Gordon a cheater? Is he neglecting his patients? Was he part of Amanda's? And then in Saw 2, there was like Eric Matthews' son. Jigsaw is trying to punish Eric Matthews because he's a dirty cop and he's framing people and he's sending people to prison. It's all that moral ambiguity. That's worthy of a saw trap. People not being able to cope with the death of their son, that is so, there's no morality. It's just needlessly cruel. And that's not even the half of it. So in this movie, we also get subjected to a man having to pull chains out of his skin. Then we get to watch an innocent cop reach her hand into a cup of acid only to have her rib cage ripped out of her chest after she already won this game. What the fuck is happening? Number 2, I feel like this movie was when the Saw writers were trying to have their cake and eat it too, and then go order 24 cupcakes. They're trying to please everybody. They're trying to please the people that want Memento aspect, and they're trying to piece everything together. So they're trying to please those people. They're trying to please the people that were looking for that holy shit moment at the very end. And then they're trying to please the people who just want the blood and the guts. But when you try to do that, it's just a disjointed mess. Number 3, Amanda. Oh my god, she's such a piece of shit. At the very beginning of Saw, wins her little trap. I actually felt a wave of compassion for her. In the second film, again, I was thinking, oh my god, this poor woman being put through this kind of torture again. This movie, I don't have any sympathy for her. I don't feel any compassion towards her. Even if I had a collar around my neck, it's this whole speech of, oh, you don't want to kill me. Look, bitch, I don't have to kill you, but I'm gonna knock you out so that I don't have to hear from you for the rest of this movie. Number 4, the movie is too fucking long. All the rest of the films were an hour and a half, which that's a pretty acceptable length. This one is 2 hours. What did they do with that extra 30 minutes? Each one of these little trap scenes is 3 minutes, but when it's this, it's just excruciating to get through. And we get lovely, rotting, maggoty pigs being thrown into a meat grinder to drown this guy. Back alley brain surgery, where we literally have to sit there and watch. Cuts this guy's skull open. It's too much. I blame Saw 3 for every bad reputation series got. I think I made my point about how much I hate Saw 3. But again, my opinion, let me know yours. Why did you like this one?
My work will continue.
Everything I said about Saw 3, I didn't think it could get any worse. And then Saw 4 comes out and tells Saw 3, hold my beer. I'm gonna see your needlessly cruel trap of a mother and a father not grieving correctly over the loss of their son, and I'm gonna raise you a cop whose main problem is that he has a desperate desire to want to save people. Not just save people, save his friends, Detective Matthews and Detective Carey. That's his main problem. Why would we ever want that? And the whole you can't save everybody mantra. He's not worthy of a Saw trap. I hated almost everything about the Saw trap Detective Riggs goes through, but I actually liked the storyline of Strom and Jill. You know, the Strom trying to break the case and Jill adding more layers to John Kramer, just developing the Jigsaw character. I actually really liked it. So I was like, why can we not go back to that? Like, if we got rid of everything else about the trap and just focused on this really developed, it would be so much better. I was so frustrated because I actually wanted to like this one. After 2 horrible. I really want to like this film. My main problem with Saw 5, it's a Saw movie, so what's in a Saw movie? An intricate jigsaw trap 22 minutes into the movie with the saw trap. No, John Kramer is dead, so this is 100% Hoffman's. The main problem with this trap is I don't give a shit about any of the 5 people in there. The story goes absolutely nowhere. It's like, oh, I'm a fire inspector and I'm dead. Oh, I'm an investigative journalist and I'm dead. Oh, I work in permit processing.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I feel absolutely nothing for these characters. Okay, they're dead. And then at the very end, when the two actually make it out and they work together, yay! I'm so excited that they... Wrong, I actually don't care. Thought that maybe they're gonna have a twist. Maybe Britt, played by Julie Benz, maybe if she was married to Erickson. No, she's just a random person. Alec.
An ounce of heroin to burn down an abandoned building. God, it wasn't abandoned. There was 8 people in there. 8 people died. The feds got involved. And I got caught, but I made a deal and my dad got me off.
Was he Erickson's son? He's just a guy. He's just a random guy who goes absolutely nowhere. So if they had tied it into something, maybe I wouldn't have minded it so much, but it was just so pointless and tedious to keep going back to this. And that goes into the main reason I hated it. The storyline of Strom and Hoffman and the cat and mouse, I really liked it. And Hoffman trying to frame Strom, I really liked that story. I also really liked the exchange between Hoffman and John Kramer as he's trying to explain his method to him. Hoffman is just strapped in. He's got a shotgun to his throat. While John's doing this, there's just that tension. And John Kramer didn't need some elaborate trap to make his point. For everything I said about Saw 3 and 4 about the cruelty of the inescapable traps, I'll even forgive Saw 5 for that Seth Baxter at the very beginning with the pendulum. Again, it ties in to Hoffman. They had cut the whole thing about the trap and the 5 people, and just developed the storyline a little bit better. I'd actually like Saw 5. After watching it, I have to put this on my list of one of my favorites. When it comes to William, felt a lot of compassion for what he went through. I mean, the decisions he has to make, and it was very much like Dr. Gordon in the original. It's like, okay, I understand. I can see where he, deserve it a little bit. I think people who have been denied health coverage, it sucks to be him. I really like the Hoffman, the cat and mouse of him trying to stay one step ahead of the police. I thought the ending was pretty interesting. I think this one was more about the storytelling, especially with William meeting Jigsaw, and that this one truly felt like a jigsaw trap. Like nothing was, super over the top, and it was more about the storytelling. I loved all the flashbacks. It was very interesting to me. So let me know where Saw 6 falls on your list. We made it. I don't hate this one because there's a lot of blood and guts. I don't hate this for the stupid, gimmicky 3D. I hate this one for all of the above. This one is just stupid, and it really sucks because the concept, I actually thought that would be pretty interesting to expand upon. Somebody lying about being in a trap and writing a book and getting all the money, failed on everything else. I don't know why. I just hated everything else about this movie. And of course, it's a Saw movie, so we have to have the obligatory trap at the very beginning. Do either of these kids come back into the film? Are they in Bobby's little support group? Is the story going anywhere? It is what it is. It's just a girl getting cut in half. Gore for the sake of gore. What the fuck? Seriously. And Bobby's traps are just long and tedious. And at the end of it, they just leave him. So it was almost like the writers like forgot about Bobby and they were just like, who cares? His wife burns to death and he's just lying there on the floor. That's it. We've got more important shit to do with Dr. Gordon. So Bobby, just whatever. He's dead. Move on. I did like that they brought Dr. Gordon back and they explained what happened to him. And I actually like that he was in on it to begin with. This one, I mean, other than the Dr. Gordon thing, which I feel like they could have done at the end of 6, why didn't they just stop at 6? Like, ugh. So I didn't like it. But let me know what you thought about Saw 7. Okay, so the series as a whole. I'm exhausted. Just trying to relive the nightmare of watching 7 Saw film. I had a lot of misconceptions about this. There was a couple of times where I was left with unanswered questions. Like in the first one, what did Zepp do? Be given a poison? Was that just subversion of expectation? I just felt bad. Like, what did he ever do? At the end of Saw 5, Strong plays the tape recorder and he's got Hoffman's voice on there. The door is still open. Get out of there, you idiot. Like, why are you still in there? Like, you've got the tape recorder, go. That brings up the whole thing about Riggs too. Riggs begins his traps. He's in his apartment, but then he has to go to the motel and then he has to go to the meat packing thing. Instead of going to the motel, why would you not just go to the police? Why are you continuing to play this game? Go find the police. Don't go to the hotel. Don't do any of that. Why are you doing this? The girl sitting in the chair, about to have her scalp ripped off, the little tape recording at the end. 2 options are kill the cop or rot in prison. She's a prostitute. How would she rot in prison? I don't understand. How could you even threaten her with that? Yes, she would probably go to prison for a couple of years, but it's not like she did anything else other than that. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. We never really explained how John Kramer had money, and Hoffman's a police detective. How the fuck are they building these elaborate traps? John's an engineer and he's got all these drawings. How does he build this stuff? Like, where does he get the funds? Can someone please explain that to me? And especially at the end of Saw 7, this furnace that they build. The end of Saw 7, when Hoffman is actually caught. So we got Dr. Gordon in one of the pig masks. What the fuck are these other 2 people? They don't tell us who these other 2 people are. I feel like they had a big missed opportunity. So if this was an episode of Can I Fix It, I would say, so Saw as a whole, you know, we have tied 7 movies together. This is like some Marvel comic shit going on. Like, we have tied an entire universe together. We did it. So let's end the series as a whole. So we've got Dr. Gordon. That's from Saw 1. What if Daniel comes into it from Saw 2? So not only did he kidnap Daniel and put him through hell, he also got his father killed. So he's got a very real grudge. He's in the other pig mask. Also, what if we had Tracy, Riggs' wife from Saw 4? Dr. Gordon, you know, he's got access to all the videos from all the Saw traps, exactly what Hoffman did to Riggs, and then that would give her a very personal grudge about wanting Hoffman dead. And then from Saw 5, what if Malik is in there, or Britt, one of the 2, wanting revenge for what Hoffman did to them in the Saw 5 trap? And finally, what about Pamela from Saw 6, the sister of William, and she was put into a Saw trap, so she wants Hoffman dead. Hell, these movies are already fucked up, so you know what? We're gonna just add another level and say Corbett, the daughter of Jeff and Lynn from number 3. You know, this little girl had been kidnapped by Hoffman. She wouldn't help facilitate any kind of Saw trap, but knowing that the man responsible for her parents' death, just bring her in, and then that would be everyone from Saw 1 through Saw 6, and everyone that Hoffman screwed over this entire time. Just bringing them all in at the very end to tell Hoffman, game over. Wouldn't that just be a fun way to just wrap up the series as a whole? Wouldn't that be fun? All right, so like I said, I feel like the series does deserve to fall into a victim of franchise. They're trying to please everybody. They're trying to create a psychological thriller, and they're trying to get the torture porn lovers. Different people were getting different things out of this series. I know somebody out there has to like this. I want to know what you think. What were you watching the Saw films for? Also, let's do a ranking. My ranking for best to worst Saw films. I will put Saw 1 at the top, Saw 2, then I will put Saw 6, Saw 5, Saw 4, Saw 7, Saw 3. That's my ranking from best to worst. I want to know yours. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, that's it. So this is the first ever victim of franchise reboot. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you enjoyed the review of Spiral, the Book of Saw, and Jigsaw. If you do like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up because that does help out a lot. If you do like this video, be sure to check out my channel for some of my other episodes. Victim of Franchise, Can I Fix It, Top 5 Countdowns, and Heated Debates. And once you've checked out all of those, if you do like what I do on this channel, you can sprinkle a little pixie dust over that subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell for all notifications. Until next time, wishing you peace, love, and pixie dust. Bye now.